Good morning. Today, I just want to share a message that's been pressing on my heart for a while. The message that I have today is God will provide. I know all of us, we are always dealing with something on this earth. There's always something that comes at us in our life. And so, I just wanted to share that God will provide. See, I was going through a hard time in my life where I was struggling. I was struggling to make ends meet, struggling to provide for myself and my family as well. And it was so hard for me. It was so hard for me. And I thought I was going to be in that situation for such a long time because it was so long that I was going through having lack and not having much. And those times I had to lean on God. I had to be in the Word. I had to trust in God because I was trying everything and nothing was working. And I felt like I was alone. You know, it was so hard. And I just had to lean. That's all I did in that season of my life is I just leaned on God, trusted in God, kept myself in the Word to help me and being around others in the church. That was also a blessing as well, and that helped me in my situation. And God provided a miracle for me. He provided a miracle for me and provided for me and my family when we didn't have much. And that was a blessing because I know it was only God. Only God could have done that. And I just wanted to say, you know, sometimes when we're in certain seasons and we're in it for such a long time, it might be hard and we feel like we can't make ends meet, that it's hard for us to pay for our bills. It's, you know, we don't have much money to buy the things that we want. And it seems tough, you know, it seems tough when others might have and you don't have and you're just struggling. But you just you're trusting in God because you know God will deliver you. And so I just want to let you know that God will provide for you. God will make a way out of no way. And so I just wanted to share as well the story with Abraham. Abraham was going through a lot, him and his wife Sarah, and they were trying to have a child for many years. They were trying and trying. And then finally God came and spoke to Abraham and he gave him a promise that he would have a son. And then later on he had a son, his son Isaac. And so the hardest thing with Abraham and Sarah is that they were waiting for such a long time for them to be able to have a child. And God provided them with a child. But then another thing happened with Abraham. It was very tough for him where God asked Abraham to sacrifice his son. And Abraham was obedient by listening to God and was walking and was on his way to do that and was in the process of trying to go on to sacrifice his son. So I'm going to read from Genesis 22:11. But it says, "But the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven and said, 'Abraham, Abraham.' So he said, 'Here I am.' And he said, 'Do not lay your hand on the lad or do anything to him. For now I know that you fear God, since you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me.' Then Abraham lifted his eyes and looked, and there behind him was a ram caught in a thicket by its horns. So Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up for a burnt offering instead of his son. And Abraham called the name of the place, 'The Lord will provide,' as it is said to this day. 'In the mountain of the Lord it shall be provided.'" So God provided a sacrifice. He provided a ram instead of his son Isaac. And so I just also wanted to share as well that how God provides. In Exodus 16:4, when the Israelites were led out of Egypt, it says here, because while they were out there walking, they needed food to eat. And God provided for them. So it says in Exodus 16:4, then the Lord said to Moses, behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you. So God finds any way that he can to provide. And most of the times is ways, majority of times, is ways that you would not even guess. Like, God is always doing something new. He's always doing a new thing. And at the end, you're like, wow, I can't believe, I wasn't even sure like how I was going to get out of the situation. And God did this, or God went and spoke to this person did this for me, or made this happen. Like, so many things. There's so many ways that God can provide for us in our lives. And I just wanted to share that God will provide. And just as he provided a ram as a sacrifice, God has provided a sacrifice for us. And that sacrifice is Jesus. Jesus sacrificed his life, and he died on that cross for us. So whoever believes in him shall not perish, but shall have everlasting life. So I'm telling you, just lean on God, whatever it is that you're going through, and God will provide. He will make a way out of no way. You might be going through that time for such a long time and seem that you're going to be in that situation for a long time. But I'm letting you know, just be faithful, just be strong, and continue to lean on God. Just as Abraham did. He and his wife were going through that season for such a long time, and they continued to trust in God and lean on God. And he provided for Abraham and his wife. And so that's the message I just wanted to share with you all this morning, that God will provide. God will provide.